Hey everyone, and welcome to Comic Breakdown. Now, I apologize for not getting these videos out sooner. Like I said in the community board, I had some issues with my power supply, but now that it's up and going, we're going to start covering all of today's issues that were released, starting with King in Black Venom, issue number 33. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with the King in Black line, go ahead and check out my playlist. It's in the description and at the top of this video. Get you completely caught up on everything that's been going on with the King in Black line. Now, Venom issue number 32, the one previous to this one, we saw the arrival of Agent Venom, aka Flash Thompson. And with that being said, let's dive into this issue. Alright, so getting into this one, it backtracks just a tad. In King in Black issue 3, we saw Dylan going out and fighting all of the symbiotes because his father, Eddie Brock, had died. And he's just so angry. Now this is picking up just prior to that, right when his father died, and Spider-Man is sitting with him and having a conversation that no one ever really had with him. You know, Peter Parker has been Spider-Man for as long as he can remember, and since the day he put on that mask, he hasn't really stopped. He's just gone and gone and gone, and no one really ever took him to the side and told him that he could sit down, that he didn't have to fight. He could take this time to mourn, because at the end of the day, Peter Parker knows better than anybody exactly how Dylan is feeling right now. Like the world is crumbling beneath his feet. Like the earth shouldn't still be spinning now that they're gone, but they are. And the world still spins. And the pep talk he gives him is just, it's absolutely phenomenal writing. And he lets Dylan know, you know, the world's never going to stop hitting you. It's never going to stop knocking you down. But we always get up. We grab the world and slow it down. And we make sure the things that happen to us never happen to anybody else. But he's letting him know you don't have to get up right this second. Though everybody is sitting here saying your powers are going to be what turns the tide in this battle, you don't have to. Don't feel obligated to go out there if you're not ready to do so. And this is when Dylan says he needs to hurt something. And then we turn over to Eddie Brock, Rex, and Agent Venom. And something is going on with Eddie Brock. Something is hurting him, but he can't really understand what. He just knows something's wrong. And then Eddie asks, like, how is this possible? Like, I thought you were dead, Flash. Like, how are you still alive? How are you still here? And he lets him know, like, his codex wasn't lost. Just because he was lost to Eddie doesn't mean he was lost as a whole. They all end up where they are right now, back in the Hive. And then this is when Eddie asks him, like, did you hear everything I said at your gravesite? And Flash kind of pokes fun at him, you know, makes fun of him. He's like, you know, I even saw a tear, blah, blah, blah. It's just really good banter back and forth between them. And then they said, all joking aside, and they have a really good moment here. And it's really great closure for Agent Venom and Eddie Brock. And he tells Eddie, you know, that he really does appreciate everything. He appreciates more than anything that he wasn't forgotten. That he still did some kind of good out there. And in the middle of this conversation, Eddie has an extreme pain. And they ask him what's wrong, and he tells them it's Null. Something is happening to him. Somehow he's connected to Null, and he can feel something. Something is hurting him. And that something is Dylan. And then we turn over and we see Dylan blasting the symbiote off of Captain America. And this is a glimpse of the battle that's transpiring in King in Black issue number 3. And this is when Eddie sees all the heroes around them start to disappear. And Eddie knows that this is Dylan. Dylan is freeing all of the heroes from Null's grasp. And then they look over and they see some kind of tear, some kind of portal. And Eddie says it's the Hive Mind. Though that's a bit confusing because they believe they were already in the Hive Mind, but this is different. With Dylan up there fighting Null with Thor, and they're winning. They're hurting him. Null is losing control. These red spots, these portals, are bruises, kind of like wounds or lesions, where the walls are breaking down. So where they actually have been this whole time is like a purgatory. It's the holding for all the souls that are captured by Null. So if they're in purgatory, who knows what is on the other side of that wall? But they're about to find out. And they cross through and they enter into the brains of the entire operation, the central nervous system that connects all the symbiotes in the entire universe, the Eye of the Storm, the God Hive. and Eddie has a plan. He sees a bunch of symbiote in cages. These are the symbiotes that have been cut off from the Hive, their connection severed by Dylan and Thor. And Noel is keeping them in cages for a reason. They're free of his influence. So if they can get to them and they can bond with them, the way his symbiote is able to absorb Flash's codex, they could be able to pilot them out of here and be able to fight back. And Rex says, this is a suicide mission, and immediately Flash is like, I'll go. And Eddie tells him no. It's like, we can all go. We can all do this. And Flash tells him, this is what Rex wanted for me from the beginning. How this all started. When he found you, he was looking for me to go and free symbiote soldiers from the convoy, to break them out. But I wasn't there, and you stepped up, Eddie. You did what had to be done. And it's all led to this point. This is my mission. This is my purpose. This is supposed to be what I'm supposed to do. So let me do it. And get your symbiote and get your son and win this war. And Eddie tells him, you deserve better than this. You're a hero and I'm not. And finally, Flash is done with it. He's just like, listen, stop, enough. You're constantly always questioning yourself, always doubting if you're good or if you're bad. You think you aren't good enough to be a hero, but look around you. You're literally facing Noel, the god of symbiotes. You faced the darkest evil in the galaxy and beaten it back. You defied every challenge that's been put in front of you. Everyone makes mistakes, to include Agent Venom. You think you can't stand side by side with the likes of Captain America and Spider-Man, but currently you are literally storming the gates of hell to save the world and rescue your son. If that's not the definition of a hero, what is? And he tells him, you're Venom and I'm a soldier. Let me be a soldier. And reluctantly, Eddie agrees and tells him good luck. And this is when Agent Venom heads down the cliff, guns blazing, cutting his way through all of these symbiotes, trying to figure out what he's gonna do here, only to have a symbiote dragon come down and bite his arm off. So he goes for the Hail Mary and pulls out a grenade and blows all the cages, freeing the symbiotes. And Noel feels this. And as the symbiotes are free, they make their way towards Flash, covering him entirely. His last words being, let's go. And from the symbiote pile, we see a symbiote dragon, but this isn't any regular symbiote dragon. This is Agent Venom piloting one of these symbiote dragons. He downloaded his codex into one of them, and now he's up there fighting. And so now it's their turn. This is their chance. So they are about to head down, and this is when Rex grabs Eddie by the back of the neck, and Eddie asks him what he's doing, only to realize this is no longer Rex, but it's the one and only god of the symbiotes, Noel. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Personally, I absolutely loved this issue. It was such a great closeout for Agent Venom. A last farewell, if you will. And I'm sure we're going to see him and maybe have a brief conversation later on as this event transpires. But this was a great moment between Eddie and Flash. They kind of got to say their last goodbyes that they never really got to tell each other. And they did such a great job of writing this. I think this is actually one of my favorites so far coming out of the King in Black line. And now we see an Agent Venom that is literally piloting one of the symbiote dragons, which is absolutely phenomenal to see. And I am so excited. Hopefully Eddie Brock gets loose of Noel somehow, because I would love to see him also piloting one of them as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video. If you enjoy the content we have coming out, if you want to support the channel in another way, we have a Patreon with tons of exclusive merch, so go ahead and check that out. Link is also in the description for that. If you haven't checked out Comic Breakdown and More podcasts, go ahead and go check that out. Available on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We drop new episodes every Friday talking about the comics here on the channel, as well as things like WandaVision, Wonder Woman 84, and so much more. And yeah, till the next video.